Good morning, students. Hope you all are doing good and fine. And I want you to take your English textbook and turn to page number 24. Okay? Want to take your book and turn to page number 24. Okay? So yesterday we had discussed the story. God sees the truth but waits. Okay? So if you are free at home, watch the movie Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank Redemption or Hollywood film இருக்குது. I want you to watch that movie, okay? If you are free, okay? So that movie is based upon this story. இதுக்கும் அதுக்கும் நிறைய resemblance. There is a major resemblance, but கொஞ்சம் வித்தியாசம் இருக்கும். But that film was made using this story only. Okay, so if you have time, you can watch that movie, Shawshank Redemption. The name of the film is Shawshank Redemption. Okay, let's go into the story. Okay, so God sees the truth but waits. கடவுள் மேல இருந்து எல்லாத்தையுமே பார்த்துக்கிட்டு இருக்காரு, ஆனா அவர் கொஞ்சம் பொறுமையா இருக்கிறாரு. Okay, so that is the meaning of the story. Okay, so I want you to take your book. So I will read the entire passage and I will explain sentence by sentence, okay, so that you can understand the story thoroughly. Okay. So let us start. In the town of Vladimir lived a young merchant named Ivan Mitrich Aksianov. He had 2 shops and a house of his own. Okay. So there was a town called Vladimir, and in that town there was a man called Ivan Mitrich Aksianov. Okay, he had 2 shops. Okay, and he had a house. Okay, and then Aksianov was a handsome, fair-haired, curly-headed fellow, full of fun and very fond of singing. Okay, so Ivan Mitrich Aksianov, he was having curly hair. He was very, very handsome, and he was very fond of singing. Okay, he was a nice singer. Okay, and he was full of fun. Full of means எப்பவுமே ரொம்ப ஜாலியா இருந்தா. He was always singing also. Okay, when quite a young man, he had been given to drink and was riotous when he had too much. But after he married, he gave up drinking except now and then. Okay, so when he was young, he used to drink. Okay, and if he had so much alcohol, he used to be very riotous. Okay, already I have told you the meaning. What does mean by riotous? அவன் ரொம்ப குடிச்சிட்டான் அப்படின்னா பிரச்சனை பண்ணுவான். When during his young age, okay, and he used to drink, and sometimes he used to have too much alcohol, and when the alcohol goes too much, he used to be very riotous. கொஞ்சம் பிரச்சனை பண்ணக்கூடிய ஆளு. Okay, after he married, he gave up drinking, but now he is married, he has a wife, he has 2 children, and now he has given up his drinking. Okay, he does not drink. Okay, except now and then he does not drink often, but sometimes he used to drink. For example, he used to drink during the festivals, during the holidays, when he meets his friend after a long gap, he used to drink now and then. Okay, and then one summer Aksianov was going to the Nizhny fair, and as he bade goodbye to his family, his wife said to him, Ivan Mitrich, do not start today. I have had a bad dream about you. Okay, now yesterday I told you, what do you mean by Nizhny fair? Nizhny fair, it was a supermarket. Okay, supermarket, Nizhny fair. Okay, it was like a supermarket. So in Calakkad you have market, no? You have vegetable markets on Mondays and Thursdays. Okay, what can you get in that Calakkad market? You can get vegetables, you can get fruits, okay, you can get spices, and you can get household things, and you can also get dry fish, right? Okay, but in Nizhny fair you can get anything. Okay, anything you can get. It is in Russia, and even today this Nizhny fair is going on, and you can get anything. Okay, you can get household things, you can get stationaries, you can get vegetables, you can get fruits, you can get fish, you can get all kinds of meat, you can get watches, you can get gifts, you can get diamonds, gold, anything you need, you can get this Nizhny fair. Okay, so our hero Ivan Mitrich Aksianov was going to this fair. Okay, he was a businessman. He had 2 shops, right? So he was a businessman. So he took his money. Okay, he took his money and went to this Nizhny fair to buy some things for his shop. Okay, and he also wanted to buy some gift for his wife. Okay, so but now what happens? His wife wants him not to go. நீ போக கூடாதுன்னு சொல்றாரு. Why? Because she had a bad dream about him. Okay, அவனை பற்றி ஒரு கெட்ட கனவு அவளுக்கு நைட்டு வந்ததுனால he stops him from going to this Nizhny fair. Okay, Axianov laughed and said, you are afraid that when I get to the fair I shall go on a spree. Now Axianov is saying, you are stopping me from going to the Nizhny fair because you are thinking that I'll go on a spree. What do you mean by go on a spree? Indulging in something actively in an unrestrained way. அப்படின்னா என்னது? அவுத்து விட்ட கழுத மாதிரி சுத்துறது. Okay, so during the holidays what will you do? You will go on a spree, right? அவுத்து விட்ட கழுத மாதிரி அங்கே எங்கே சுத்துறது, வேலுக்குள்ள சுத்துறது. So that is called as go on a spree. Now Axianov is saying to his wife, you are stopping me from going to this Nizhny fair because you think that I'll go on a spree. நான் அவுத்து விட்ட கழுத மாதிரி சந்தோஷமா ஜாலியா போவேன்றதுனால நீ என்ன பண்ற, நீ என்ன தடுக்கிற அப்படின்னு Axianov is saying to his wife. Okay, his wife replied, I do not know what I am afraid of. All I know is that I had a bad dream. I dreamt you returned from the town, and when you took off your cap I saw that your hair was quite grey. Okay, what is this? I had a dream, and in that dream you returned from this fair. You went and returned from this fair, but when you took your cap off, your hair was grey. Your hair was very grey in color. That means you have become so old when you returned from this Nizhny fair. So this is a very bad sign. This is a bad dream, and kindly do not go to the Nizhny fair. The wife of Axianov is stopping him from going to the fair. Okay, Axianov laughed. That's a lucky sign, he said. If I don't sell out all my goods and bring you some presents from this fair. He said that means that is not a bad sign, that is a lucky sign. So he says that that's not a bad sign, that is a lucky sign. I will spend my money for buying some gifts for you. So I'll buy some gifts for you when I return from the Nizhny fair. He says, now what happens? So he said goodbye to his family and drove away. Okay, now he's saying goodbye to his children, to his wife, to his family, and he now goes to the Nizhny fair. Okay, he goes to the Nizhny fair. Okay, and when he traveled halfway, he met a merchant whom he knew and put up at the same inn for the night. They had some tea together and then went to bed in adjoining rooms. Okay, what now? Adjoining room. What happens? Now he meets a merchant. Okay, he meets a merchant. Now they are staying in an inn. Okay, so when he has gone halfway na பாதி தூரம் போனோடனே he meets a merchant. Merchant means one who is involved in business. Businessman is also called as merchant. Okay, and he meets a merchant, and he also is going to this Nizhny fair, and Axianov meets this merchant, and they both stay in a hotel. Okay, inn means hotel, a place where you stay. Okay, a place where you stay. Okay, they went to the hotel and they stayed in the adjoining rooms. பக்கத்து ரூம்ல என்ன பண்ணாங்க? They slept. Okay, and then it was not Axianov's habit to sleep late, and wishing to travel, it was still cool. He aroused his driver before dawn and told him to put in the horses. Okay, and what he did, he had the habit of getting up early. Okay, so he was not a man who would sleep late. 9 மணிக்கு 10 மணிக்கு எந்திக்கிற பழக்கம்லாம் இல்லை, விடியறதுக்கு முன்னுக்கிட்டே எந்திக்கக்கூடிய பழக்கம் அவனுக்கு இருந்துச்சு. அண்ட் ஆல்சோ ஹீ வாண்டட் டு ட்ராவல் இன் த கோல்டு வெதர். அந்த கோல்டு வெதரில் ட்ராவல் பண்ணி போகிறது அவனுக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருச்சு. ஸோ வாட் ஹி டிட், ஈவன் பிஃபோர் இட் வாஸ் டான், ஈவன் பிஃபோர் த சன் ரோஸ், வாட் ஹி டிட், ஹி woke up his driver and he told him to make his horse ready. Okay, they traveled in a horse cart, and he woke up his driver and told him to make his horse ready. Okay, then he made his way across to the landlord of the inn, paid his bill and continued his journey. Okay, what he did, he went to the owner of the inn. Okay, he went to the owner of the inn and he paid the bill. Okay, so he had stayed, so for that he had to give money, so what happened, he goes to the landlord of the inn. That means landlord means one who owns that inn. Okay, so he goes to him, he pays the bill, and now along with his driver he has started his journey again. Okay, and when he had gone about 25 miles, he stopped for the horses to be fed. Axianov rested while in the passage of the inn. Then he stepped out into the porch and, ordering a samovar to be heated, got out his guitar and began to play. Okay, Now what happens? Now they have traveled 25 kilometers. Okay, 25 miles. 25 miles means around 40 to 45 kilometers. Okay, around 40 kilometers. Okay. For 40 kilometer, 25 miles they had traveled, and after that he wanted his horse to be fed. Kudiraki pasikumla, so he wanted to feed his horse. So he stopped and he went to an inn. Okay. Again he went to a hotel, and in that hotel there was a veranda, and in that veranda he was sitting and he ordered the samovar to be heated. Okay, what do you mean by samovar? Samovar means Russian metal land for making tea. Tea பாத்திரம் தான் அந்த காலத்துல உள்ள டீ பாத்திரத்துக்கு பேர் தான் சமோவர்னு பேரு. So he went to a hotel, he stayed in the porch. Porch means portico. முன்னாடி உள்ள முத்தத்துல உட்கார்ந்திருக்கான். He took out his guitar and he started playing guitar, and he started singing, and in the meantime he ordered the samovar to be heated, the teapot to be heated, to bring some tea for him. Okay, so suddenly a troika drove up with tinkling bells, and an official alighted, followed by 2 soldiers. Okay, so now what happens? When he was singing using the guitar, when you were sitting in the porch of that inn, a troika came. Okay, troika means a cart pulled by a team of 3 horses. 3 குதிரை பொருந்திய ஒரு குதிரை வண்டி வருது. இவன் உட்கார்ந்து பாட்டு படிச்சிட்டு இருக்கான். அப்போ வந்துட்டு ஒரு குதிரை வண்டி வருது. சரியா? Now an officer and 2 soldiers are there in that troika, and they stopped their troika in front of Axiano, who was singing. Okay, and then he came to Axiano and began to question him, asking him who he was and whence he came. Okay, now the police officer is asking him who you are and when you have come here. Okay, and Axiano answered him fully and said, won't you have some tea with me? But the official went on cross-questioning him and asking him, where did you spend last night? Were you alone or with the fellow merchant? Did you see the other merchant this morning? Why did you leave the inn before dawn? Okay, now the police officer is asking him questions. Now what Axiano does, he offers him tea. உங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் நம்ம வாங்க, எதுக்கு நின்னுக்கிட்டே பேசுறீங்க, வந்து என் கூட கொஞ்சம் டீ குடிச்சிட்டு பேசலாமே அப்படின்னு சொல்றான். But what the officer does, he does not pay heed to his answer, and what he does is, who are you? Where were you staying last night? What happened to the merchant with whom you were staying? And why did you leave that inn before dawn? He left the inn before sunrise. So he is asking, the police officer is asking, why did you leave the inn before sunrise? And what happened to the merchant with whom you were staying? Okay, and then Axiano wondered why he was asked all these questions, but he described all that had happened and then added, why do you cross question me as if I were a thief or a robber? I am traveling on business of my own, and there is no need to question on me. Okay, now Axiano got doubt. Then he asked the police officer why he was questioning him. Okay, so the police officer was unwantedly questioning him. So he asked him, why are you questioning me? I'm going to the Nizhny fair. I'm a businessman. I wanted to do my business, and that is why I'm traveling. But you are irrelevantly questioning me. You are interrogating me without any purpose. Okay, and then the official, calling the soldiers, said, I am the police officer of this district, and I question you because the merchant with whom you spent last night has been found with his throat cut. We must search your things. Okay, now the police officer is saying, the merchant with whom you spent your last night, he spent his last night with a merchant, right? With another businessman in the same hotel. Okay, now he says, the police officer says, the merchant with whom you spent your day last night has been murdered. Okay, அவனை கொலை செய்யப்பட்டிருக்கான். His throat was cut. You were staying with him, and therefore we are questioning him, and we wanted to search your things. The police ordered. Okay, and then they entered the house. The soldiers and the police officer unstrapped Axiano's luggage and searched it. Suddenly the officer drew a knife out of a bag, crying, whose knife is this? Okay, and now what the police officers do, they searched his bag. They unstrapped all his things. அப்படியே அவனோட அந்த கட்டி வச்சிருக்க அவனோட திங்ஸ் எல்லாத்தையுமே ஓப்பன் பண்றாங்க. ஓப்பன் பண்ணிட்டு they found out a knife. Okay, blood stained knife. Okay, then they found out a knife in his bag, and they are asking him, whose knife is this? Okay, Axiano looked, and seeing a blood stained knife taken from his bag, he was frightened. How is it there is blood on this knife? Okay, And Axianov was very much surprised to find a blood-stained knife. Okay, ரத்தம் படிஞ்ச ஒரு கத்தி அவனோட பேக்கில் இருந்துச்சு, எடுத்தாங்க. ஸோ he was very frightened. அவன் ரொம்ப பயந்து போயிட்டான். இது எப்படிடா நம்ம பேக்கில் வந்துச்சுன்னு என்ன பண்ணுறான், யோசிக்கிறான். And Axianov tried to answer but could hardly utter a word and only stammered. I do not know, it's not mine, he was saying. Okay, and what happened? He was stammering. Stammering means திக்கி பேசுறது. போலீஸ்காரன் வந்து திடீர்னு கொஷின் பண்ணுறான். ஒரு கொலை சம்மந்தமாக உங்ககிட்ட பேசிகிட்டு இருக்காங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோமா, உன்னை கொஷின் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கான். திடீர்னு உன் பேக்லேருந்து ரத்தம் படிஞ்சு ஒரு கத்தியும் எடுத்துட்டான் அப்படின்னா உனக்கு எப்படி இருக்கும்? பயங்கர பதட்டமாக இருக்கும் அப்படி தானே உங்களுக்கு. அப்படியே வாயிலேருந்து ஒரு ஆன்சருமே வர திக்கி திணறிடும் அப்படி தானே. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஈஸியாக புரிகிற மாதிரி சொல்கிறேன்னே, இப்போது எக்ஸாம் எழுதிட்டு இருக்கீங்க, பட் யூ ஹவ் நாட் காப்பீட். ஓகே, யூ ஹவ் நாட் காப்பீட், பட் நீங்கள் காப்பியே பண்ணலை. ஆனால் எக்ஸாம் ஹாலில் செக் பண்ணும்போது யாரோ வந்துட்டு என்ன பண்ணிருக்காங்க, பேப்பரில் எழுதி வச்சது உங்கள் டெஸ்க்கு பக்கத்தில் இருந்துச்சு, அதை எடுத்து பார்த்துட்டாங்க அப்படின்னா உங்களுக்கு எப்படி இருக்கும்? அவங்க ஒன்றும் ஓடாது அப்படி தானே, திக்கி திணறிடுவீங்க அப்படி தானே. ஸோ பேச்சே வராது. ஸோ தப்பே பண்ணலைனாலும் அந்த இடத்துல நம்மளால் பேச முடியாது. ஸோ தேட் வாஸ் த சேம் இன்சிடென்ட் வாஸ் ஹேப்பனிங் இன் Axianov's life. Okay, so he was stammering, he was unable to speak properly. Okay, and then the officer said, this morning the merchant was found in bed with his throat cut. You are the only person who could have done it. The house was locked from inside and no one else was there. Here is this blood-stained knife in your bag and your face and manner betray you. Tell me how you killed him and how much money you stole. Okay, now the officer is asking him, yesterday that merchant was killed, his throat was cut, and in his room nobody was staying, only you were staying with him. That means only you could have killed him, and the door was locked from inside. Okay, the door was locked from inside, only you could have killed him. And tell me how you killed him and how much money you stole. நீ எப்படி அவனை கொன்ன, எப்படி அவங்ககிட்ட இருந்து பணத்தை திருடுன்னு என்கிட்ட சொல்லு அப்படின்னு போலீஸ் ஆஃபீஸர் கேட்குறாரு. Axianov was very surprised and he was unable to do anything. Okay, Axianov swore he had not done it. What do you mean by swearing? Swearing na satyam பண்றது. Okay, swear, past tense of swear is swore. He swore that he did not do it. Okay, சத்தியம் பண்ணுறான், நான் வந்துட்டு அதை பண்ணலை, நான் கொலை பண்ணலை அப்படின்னு என்ன பண்ணுறான், சத்தியம் பண்ணுறான் Axianov. Okay, that he had no money except 8,000 rubles of his own, and that the knife was not his, but his voice was broken, his face was pale, and he trembled with fear as though he went guilty. அந்த சிச்சுவேஷனில் அவனுக்கு என்ன பண்ணனே தெரில. He swore to the police officer that he did not do it, and he told him that I am only having 800 rubles, and that is my money, and the knife you are having, that blood-stained knife, does not belong to me. And his face became pale and he trembled with fear. அப்படியே பயத்தில் என்ன பண்ணிட்டான், நடுங்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டான். ஓகே, இப்போ நடுங்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டான். உண்மையிலேயே அவன் தப்பு பண்ண மாதிரியே என்ன பண்ணிட்டான், நடுங்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டான் பயத்தில். ஓகே, now the police officer ordered the soldiers to bind Axianov and to put him in the cart. As they tied his feet together and flung him